Hi guys, DevilHunterXYZ, and in this installment of The Good and the Bad, I decided to go for the sequel to Sports Champions, also known as Sports Champions 2. Yeah, also made by Zendagi Games. It's the sequel to the first game. The whole PlayStation Move concept is still kind of going out there at the time anyway. And it's supposed to expand on ideas that were from the first game and kind of make it more fully fleshed out. So let's see how they do. Well, for the good, in Sports Champions 2, I think the best thing so far is probably the customization. And by that, I mean, they actually fully expanded on it. And the first game, you really couldn't customize too much, honestly. I mean, you were basically still choosing pre-made characters. But here, you can actually create the type of character you want. I mean, you can change like the head, the clothing, you can change the gear that they use for each sporting event. So it's, more of an expanded customization. Second, I will have to say it's pretty convenient that whenever you do calibration, you only have to do it once throughout the entire game. Like whenever you boot up the game, go into the start menu, like the first time, I mean, you only have to calibrate your PlayStation Move controllers once, as opposed to the first game where you have to do it like in every single game, which kind of gets a little bit tedious and annoying. Having to just stand in a box in front of the camera just to doing like these weird arm motions to just calibrate the thing. But I'm glad they only took it down to just one time for the entire experience. And then also, I would say, I guess a bigger emphasis on party play. I mean, yeah, I mean that's actually one of the modes they put into the game, party play. But it's like having an actual party, an actual cooperative play or competitive play. To actually have more people playing the game actually helped out a little bit. I think there's probably at least two or three games, that actually have four players. Like I know you can do it for bowling and probably golf, yeah, and possibly skiing. I'm not quite sure on that, but yeah, they're more emphasizing on like party modes. So yeah, have more people playing the game at once. Well, for the bad, I can say there are two cases for that. Well, one is the games. Well, I would say the games are not really original, and by that I mean like, they replaced the games from the first Sports Champions with similar games. I mean, like instead of disc golf, you have regular golf. Instead of table tennis, you have regular tennis. Instead of gladiator duels, you have boxing. And of course, they brought back archery for both games. I mean, really, the only original games are probably skiing and bowling. So it kind of seems a little bit, yeah, it kind of seems a little unoriginal just having similar games from the first one, more or less. I'm it's kind of a little bit down by that, but I do like archery, and having bowling there and skiing actually were pretty fun to say the least. And I say the second bad is again no online modes, which is still kind of jarring by that. Again, they have online leaderboards, and I think you can connect with Facebook, if you want, but it's still kind of questionable as to why is there no online. I mean, I could probably excuse the first game for maybe like time constraints and not being able to implement it in the game, but why not even in the second game? And I mean, that's another missed opportunity there. Well, for improvements, I guess one thing obviously is adding online. I mean, playing with friends and family in your local area is it's okay, but there are times I want to actually test my skills with other players around the world in different countries. Because everyone has their unique playing styles, and it would be nice to play against other people. And I guess my second improvement will obviously be adding more games. Or I guess what they could do is maybe just take the games from the first Sports Champions and add them into the second one. That is to kind of build more on games on that. Or I guess what they could do is keep the games for the second game, but just add a few more into it. Like maybe add baseball or basketball, or maybe something exotic like hang gliding, or maybe even go for pool. Something more, more traditional. Well, overall, I say Sports Champions 2, I guess in terms of improvement, I would say it really hasn't improved that much, honestly. I mean, besides added customization and some additional modes, it really didn't change all too much. But, I guess if you had a choice between the first or second game, I would say, yeah, go with the second game. You might get a little bit of a better kick out of it than the first one. But, if you have both of them, I'd say you'd be fine with that. You can easily switch between those two games. But either way, though, I say Sports Champions 2 is a pretty good addition to the Sports Champions games. And, I'm still hoping maybe they might make a third one, maybe for the PlayStation 4 or something. But as of right now, I would give Sports Champions 2 a final score of, I guess, as well, a 7.5 out of 10. It didn't really change at all, in my opinion, but it's still a pretty fun game, to play every now and then. And again, I would probably recommend renting it out, just to get a little bit of entertainment out of it with some friends and family. Well, this is Devil Hunter XYZ, and until next time.